There are tears that fall from your eyes. And then there are tears that never do. The ones you swallow before anyone notices. The ones you hide behind a smile, a joke, or the simple words, "I'm fine." Strange, isn't it? Some people spend their entire lives apologizing, not for what they did, but for what they felt. Maybe you've done it too. You cried during a movie and laughed at yourself. Someone's kindness caught you off guard, and you quickly looked away before anyone saw your eyes. You felt overwhelmed, then apologized, as though feeling something deeply had become an inconvenience. But somewhere along the way, who convinced us that tears needed an excuse? There was a time when your tears didn't need permission. They simply appeared, trusting someone would understand them. They weren't asking to be explained, only understood. Yet little by little, something changed. A classroom laughed. A parent said, "Stop crying." A friend rolled their eyes. Someone called you sensitive. Another called you dramatic. The moment passed, but the lesson remained. So the next time, you didn't stop feeling, you simply stopped showing it. The tears stayed. They just learned a new hiding place. Inside your chest, inside your throat, inside the version of yourself that everyone believed was coping. That's the strange thing about hidden tears. People assume they disappear. They don't. Every feeling that asks to be seen eventually finds another way to speak. Sometimes through exhaustion. Sometimes through anxiety you can't explain. Sometimes through the heaviness that appears for no obvious reason. Not because you're weak, but because emotions were never meant to remain unfinished. Think about that. How many times have you comforted someone else for the very same feelings you've judged yourself for having? We often offer others the kindness we quietly refuse to give ourselves. Perhaps that's why tears feel so lonely, not because no one understands them, but because we spent years believing they need to be hidden before they deserve compassion. The strange part is, the tears themselves were never the problem. The shame was. The belief that staying composed made you stronger, that holding everything inside made you more mature, that if no one saw your pain, then maybe it wasn't real. But pain has never needed an audience to exist, and neither have tears. Maybe they were never asking for attention. Maybe they were asking for permission, permission to exist, without becoming something you needed to apologize for. Notice what happens. The moment you stop judging your own emotions, the tears don't become heavier, they become quieter. Not because you forced them away, but because they've finally been heard. Perhaps healing isn't the moment you stop crying. Perhaps healing begins the moment you stop believing that crying means something is wrong with you. And perhaps the question was never, why do I cry so easily? Maybe the real question is, who taught me that feeling deeply needed an apology? Because maybe the strongest part of you was never the part that held the tears back. Maybe it was the part that never stopped feeling at all.